So, for my informative speech, I'm choosing to talk about the origin of the Olympics. So, the three main things about the Olympics that I'm going to discuss are the origin of it, how it came to be, kind of what it's all about, the location, and why that's symbolic, and then the impact and the legacy that it has on sport and on people. So, first, to start with the origin, it originated in Greece, and it was originally a religious kind of a festival honoring the god Zeus. It was the first modern Olympics, and that was held in Athens, Greece in 1896. Um, and not back then, but now there's summer and winter Olympics, so it alternates every 2 years. In 2026, it's in Milano Cortina, and then in the next summer one will be in Los Angeles in 2028. Um, in 1896, though, the first one, there was only 280 athletes from 13 different countries, which is a lot different now because there's around 330 different events across 32 sports. And there was only 43 events then. So it's definitely expanded a little bit in terms of what they can compete in and also what kind of events, there was back then. Um, the modern Olympics were made to promote peace across different countries, kind of bring the athletes together, and kind of, I'll get into a little bit with the impact, but it kind of just that sense of pride in your country and knowing that you can represent something like that. And it was friendly competition. It's the same, like I said, pride. It's not for money. It's not for anything other than bragging rights and, you know, your pride in your country and where you're from. So the location, it was picked in Athens. Well, it originated in Athens to honor the ancient tradition. It was in the Pantheonic Stadium, and it was fully made of marble. It's the only stadium. Well, not the only. It's one of few stadiums in the world that is completely made of marble. They still use it for the passing the torch ceremonies, and also they use it not for the finish line, but it's like a gathering for a marathon in Greece, which is a big marathon there as well. At the time, it held 50,000 people, which was the biggest sporting event at that time in Greece. And the original ceremony was on April 6th, 1896, which was Easter Monday. And the King of Greece, King George the First, was the one who opened the games then. So it's kind of cool. So third, for the impact and the legacy, I think you see now where the Olympics means so much to people because you have that pride in your country. You want to show that your country's the best. And I think kind of for a long time, for example, the United States basketball team is a big example of that, of the country, where you get all these amazing players, because the NBA is so diverse. You have people from Spain, you have people from Greece, you have people from Lithuania, like stuff like that. So I think having all the players from the United States kind of come together and, they want to go win, you want to be the best. And I think the Olympics are so cool to me because it just shows how big sports are and how global and widespread they are and how it brings you that sense of pride and how you can leave that legacy and you can have that effect on people, and people are like, that's a huge goal of mine, a huge dream of mine, that you want to compete in the Olympics and represent your country. I think for me, at a young age, when I was probably 8 or 9 years old, one of my kindergarten teachers, I don't remember why, but for whatever reason, they had the Olympic torch for the passing of the torch, and it was up north. We had to go pick it up, because my family was up there, and we picked it up. So when I was 8 or 9, 10 years old, somewhere in there, I held the Olympic torch, which was super cool. So for me, kind of knowing the history of it and being able to have a piece of that history and kind of back to myself and, say I did that. I kind of wasn't a part of that, but I feel like, it was kind of a cool experience that maybe not a lot of other people haven't had. And also my dad, when he was younger, he was a junior Olympic skier. So he kind of told me, he lived out in Colorado for a few years, and he told me kind of the importance of how they preach the pride in your country, because everybody wants to be the best. You want your country to be the best. And he just to kind of explain to me how they look at that, the outlook on that, and how that sense of pride is just very overtaking, and it trumps everything else. So my informative speech was about the Olympics, and I discussed the origins, the location, and then the impact and the legacy that it has. Thank you for listening to my speech. I hope you learned something, and yeah, thank you.